And let's turn to the Africa Cup of Nations, where Burkina Faso stunned much-fancied Tunisia 1-0 on Saturday to progress to the semi-finals in Cameroon. Teenager Dango Ouattara scored what would prove to be the winner of the stroke of half-time to ensure victory by a solitary goal in the quarter-final at the Rumde Adjia Stadium. Tunisia had an earlier chance goal-begging when Wabi Kari saw his free kick tripped over the bar in the 27th minute. But the North Africans found themselves behind when 19-year-old Ouattara held off two defenders to tuck the ball home in the 3rd minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. But his celebrations were curtailed in the second half when he was sent off for an elbow in the face of Tunisia substitute Ali Maloul in the 82nd minute. Despite the setback, the Stallions held on to reach the semi-final for a 3rd time in the last 5 editions of the tournament, and they will now face the winners of Sunday's quarter-final between Senegal and Equatorial Guinea.
Allow me to dedicate this qualification to our people who, as you know, are going through hard times, even if at the moment the situation is stable. But I take advantage of this stage to pay homage to our people that, against all odds, are still standing up. And I say that our team is just like our people. We will keep standing up whatever happens. We are where we are. All that happened to us today is a bonus for us because I think we have largely fulfilled our part of the deal. And whatever happens from today on is really a bonus.
We wished to be able to get through to the semi-finals and dedicate it to Tunisians. However, there have been lots of things happening since we arrived here. We will not mention them, lots of major destructive things. The players did their best and difficult circumstances could not stop them giving it all. However, the result is always the responsibility of the coach. I take full responsibility. As for the players, they did their best.
Meanwhile, these were the scenes in Ouagadougou as fans celebrated the team's progress to the semi-final stage of the ongoing tournament. The win comes 5 days after the landlocked country was thrust into political uncertainty when President Marc Christian Kabore was ousted in a military coup. The win comes as a much-needed boost to football supporters in Burkina Faso. The West African side had, however, gone into the side knowing what they had won all 3 previous quarterfinals, which include 2 against Tunisia. Burkina Faso started with captain and Action Via forward Bertrand Traoré among 12 substitutes, while an injury also ruled out vice-captain and central defender Issoufou Dayo. Football supporters in Ouagadougou expressed their joy with the side's performance in Cameroon.
What the young people are doing today is really good. We're very happy. They're putting on the shirt for the nation, for the country. We're very happy for them, and we hope they will go further.
It's true that the joy is there. We forget a bit the coup which has passed. Even then, we hope that with the cup, we will be reconciled on the national level.
Meanwhile, in the earlier fixture on Saturday, Carl Toko Ekambi scored a brace as hosts Cameroon faced little trouble beating the Gambia 2-0 to become the first side to book a place in the last 4. The indomitable Lions completely dominated the encounter at the Japoma Stadium against the lowest-ranked team coming into the 24-team tournament. Captain Vincent Abubakar had several chances to put his side ahead in the first half, but could not convert as both sides went into the break level. The 2 goals then came in a 7-minute burst in the second half as Toko Ekambi got his first with a 50th-minute header. He then ran off the defense and into space to add a second goal with a tap-in at the back post and now has 5 goals for the tournament. Cameroon will now meet the winner of Sunday's quarter-final between Egypt and Morocco. CGTN's Mohamed Abubakar was at the stadium and brings us more from Douala.
The indomitable Lions cruised past debutants The Gambia, beating them 2-0 to become the first team to progress to this year's African Cup of Nations semi-final. After a solid defensive performance by The Gambia in the first half, it was Carl Toko Ekambi that broke the deadlock in the 50th minute. He then doubled his tally for the night in the 57th minute to seal the victory for Cameroon.
I must congratulate the boys. They were rigorous and followed the game plan and the strategy that was launched. So when it's like that, I can only be happy. I say it proudly. I think that since the start of the competition, in terms of offensive quality and in terms of defensive quality, it was our most balanced match. So I'm happy, and to continue, that was the goal. It was to win with style, and we did it, and we're in the semi-finals.
I'm disappointed that we go home because we love to stay here. We faced a strong, I would not say 11, we faced a strong 40,015 people here today. It was very tough, but I'm very proud of my team.
The match was also an emotional occasion for the Cameroon team, who returned to the pitch for the first time since the accident that claimed lives of 8 fans at the Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé.
I think if we lose today, the memories of those that left us on Monday will have been dirtied. We have to win for them. We have to go ahead for them. We have to win this African Cup of Nations for them. We lose 8 lives. It's not 1 life, just 8 lives. It's human beings. We cannot play with lives, you know. We have to go ahead, carry the cup, and do it everything for them.
It's now a wrap for the Japoma Stadium at this year's AFCON, as the rest of the action all the way to the final moves to Yaoundé. Mohamed Abubakar for CGTN, Douala, Cameroon.
Well, let's now cross over to Mohamed Abubakar. He's live for us in Douala in Cameroon. Mohamed, a morale-boosting win there for Burkina Faso on Saturday night, despite the uncertainty back home. How important is the win for the Stallions as they now look ahead to the semi-finals?
Thank you, Beatrice. You mentioned it. Morale boosting, huge distraction from the political instability that's happening in Burkina Faso. As much as African Cup of Nations is concerned, Burkina Faso are yet to win this title. They've been close several times. This is their 4th time they've reached the semi-final of this competition. The other 3 times were in 1998, where they reached the semi-final. In 2017, the semi-final as well, but fell short. In 2013, they reached the final, but painfully lost that one to Nigeria as well. But this time round, you feel there's an extra incentive by this Burkina Faso team, given what's going on in Burkina Faso. They find there's a reason to try and bring a reason to celebrate back home. And so they're literally just a possible 2 games away from winning that African title for the first time, and the team that will get in their way in the semi-final is either Equatorial Guinea or Senegal. So there's an interesting, or rather, there's a good morale right now in the team. They're looking forward to playing that semi-final. They do not want to go back home unless they come back with that trophy to bring glory back to Burkina Faso. Beatrice.
Well, Mohamed Abubakar is still with us for more on upcoming matches. Mohamed, now Egypt face Morocco while Senegal are set to take on Equatorial Guinea. What can we expect from the final 2 quarterfinals to be played later today in Cameroon?
Well, Beatrice, the North African clash between Egypt and Morocco is always a thrilling encounter. These 2 footballing nations go back far when it comes to football rivalry, and we've seen this even in club football as well. So this match is going to be very hard to call. The last 6 times they've faced each other in the African Cup of Nations, Morocco have won 3 times, Egypt 2, and they've drawn 1. So it's very hard to call this one. And if you look on paper, Egypt look like the more favorite team to win it because they're the record winners. They've won it 7 times. There's experience of winning, or rather playing this big competition. Morocco have won it once. But then again, in terms of North African derby, it's always a tough one to call. The only thing for certain is at least will have one North African team in the last 4 of this competition. For Senegal and Equatorial Guinea, Senegal have the strongest defensive record in this competition. They've not conceded a single goal in their first 4 matches. They've not scored a lot as well, so they need to turn up in this game. They need to find a way to crack that Equatorial Guinea defense if they want to progress to the final 4. Equatorial Guinea, on the other hand, have shown that they are giant killers in this competition. They beat Algeria in the first round, one of the reasons Algeria were eliminated in the first round of this competition. So Equatorial Guinea can cause an upset again today. Beatrice.
All right, Mohamed Abubakar with the very latest on the AFCON tournament there from Douala.